Hey yo, what's up everyone? Welcome back to another workout video. This one's going to be a little different. What I wanted to do was kind of go over some things you can do around your house when you don't have actual gym equipment to use. I know when quarantine first started, I was kind of struggling to get my workouts in because I just didn't have any equipment. So what I ended up doing was I ended up finding things around my house and doing workouts with them. So I'm going to share kind of what I did with you guys and hope that it benefits you guys as well. Um, so again, you'll see here these reps are kind of again guidelines. Feel free to add or take away if you're finding it too easy or difficult. And one last note I wanted to put in here is that since you're working with things that aren't actually weights, like aren't actual dumbbells or anything, you really want to focus on your form and you really want to focus on squeezing each exercise like to the max. That's how you're going to maximize your gains, for lack of a better term, off this. Again, because we're not actually using too heavy of weight, it's going to be kind of more awkward on your grips and body, but at the same time, it'll still be a good workout. Feel free to pick and choose or do the whole workout all at once, and let's get into it. Okay, so I'm going to give you guys a bit of a rundown of the equipment that I found around my house that kind of helped me get through my workouts for a little while. This stuff actually got me by for about a month until I got my proper weights set up, so hopefully it can do the same for you guys. First things first, a chair. Assuming most people have a chair of some kind in their house. Try to find one that has like this long kind of stick structure, spoke structure to it. It'll be easier to hold like a dumbbell and do some favors that way. Next up, kind of have some pillowcases. I have them filled with textbooks right now. That class really sucked. But you can use textbooks, bricks, kind of any heavy object. Just don't forget it's a pillowcase. It might get torn or dirty, but it's a sacrifice for the gains at the end of the day. Lastly, we have these kind of water jugs that I found, or vinegar jugs and water jugs. These each weigh about 10, 15 pounds each. So I did a lot of single arm workouts with them, lots of high reps. So yeah, so this is what got me by, and I'll show you guys some of the workouts that I was doing. So let's start with the chair workouts. The first one that I do with the chair is front shoulder raise. This is because for me personally, this is the most difficult of all the exercises with the chair, and I want to maximize my kind of energy with it. Keys to remember here: keeping your arms straight the entire way up and down. You want to lift to about where your hands are, where your eyes are. If you can, hold it there for a second, but ultimately this is going to build up the front of your shoulders, and that in turn will also help with your chest presses and your push-ups and everything else that involves your kind of your upper body pushing strength. So it's a good way to start off for sure. So next up we have hammer curls, our first set of curls. You'll see here I'm holding each side of the chair like a hammer. And one thing that I really want to stress here is that since we are working with lighter weight, doing curls, you really want to squeeze at the top of each rep, and at the bottom you want to give yourself like a second or so to let your body kind of struggle a bit. It's really going to start to hurt after a little while, but again, since we're working with lighter weight, you really have to emphasize your form here if you really want to get the same results as you would with normal weights. But ultimately, hammer curls are a great way to start building up your buys as well. So I like these a lot. So next up we have chest press, or chair bench press, whatever you want to call this. Again, one thing I want to emphasize here is the squeeze, kind of at the top of each rep. You want to pretend that you're trying to like smash a grape between your two chest muscles, your two pecs, I guess, like touch your chest together. Kind of visualizing that has always been a good way for me to activate my chest and get it feeling nice. So I try to do that at the top of every rep, even when I'm not using a chair. But it is a good kind of methodology to practice through all your chest workouts, is trying to kind of touch your chest together at the top of each rep. So moving on to our pillowcase workouts, we'll call them. My personal favorite, trap shrugs. I love working out my traps. They're probably my favorite muscle to hit. The muscle that leads from your shoulder to your neck. Good thing to remember here is you want to keep your arms kind of loose at your sides so you don't activate your shoulders too much, and you want to keep it all in your upper back and traps. And you basically want to just try and squeeze your shoulder blades together behind your head. Going up and back, not straight up, because when you go just straight up, it hits too much of your shoulders, not enough of your traps. So remember to go up and backwards with your squeezes. Okay, so next up in our pillowcase workouts, we got more bicep curls. Two key things I want to stress as we're watching this. First one is that since the weights we're using, again, are pillowcases filled with stuff, they're going to be a little unbalanced and a little unsteady. So it's really important to maintain your form and composure through each rep. Second of all, if you pay attention to my hands here, you'll see that my hands are kind of starting off in like a hammer curl position, but I'm rotating my palms to face upwards through each rep. This just kind of gives you that little bit more of activation, Kind of rounds off the rep a little more. And as you can tell by my face, these were giving me a bit of trouble. They're really good, also really difficult, but this will be the most difficult exercise for your biceps today. Okay, so next up / last for the pillowcase workouts we have skull crushers. So these work out your triceps. I'll right off the bat, I'll just say these do feel a little awkward to get the hang of, but once you do, they're quite rewarding. And these being the only tricep workout in the whole video, I always recommend doing these alongside the close grip push-ups I showed you a little while back. Those two together, great tricep pump. Anyways, as far as form goes, you want to keep your elbows as close to your head as possible. You want to keep your arms moving at a 90-degree angle at the elbow, and then at the top of each rep, just give it a squeeze. Again, it's going to feel kind of awkward and shaky, but at the end of the day, it's going to hit your tris, it's going to activate them nicely, so just power through it. So first up for our jog workouts, we'll call them, side raises, lateral raises for your shoulders. One thing to remember here, you really want to try to remove your arms and elbows from the equation, because if you start to lift with them, you're going to be cheating on the rep and not hitting your shoulders enough. And also at the top of each rep, if you have the gas left, try to hold it for even just a split second, get that last bit of burn. You're going to see it in your pump, it's going to be worth it. So next up we have hammer curls with vinegar jugs / water jugs, wherever you end up having available. Again, we're kind of following the same motion as our very first workout, where we're keeping our fists kind of in a hammer motion, really squeezing at the top, really letting it hang at the bottom. And you'll see that sometimes the weight will kind of shake around in your hand a bit, because it is liquid you're lifting. So again, that's where you really want to keep your wrist stable. One thing that I can't stress enough again here is just don't forget to squeeze at the top, because that's where all the muscle gets torn, that's where all your energy goes, and that's what creates the pump. So squeeze at the top, squeeze at the bottom, maintaining your form all the way through. Second last workout, we're almost there. Okay, so last but certainly not least in our household object upper body workout, bicep curls, using the water jugs that I found. I did these all the time when I first started my quarantine workout routine. These are kind of what kept me going, kept me centered. I did these almost every day. I know I gave amount of reps to try and follow, but this being the last exercise, just try to do as many as you can properly, and then get some protein in you right after. Anyways, this is the end of the video, guys. Hope that it was able to help. Hope that I can pass on kind of this knowledge that I gained during my quarantine workouts to you guys, and hopefully it benefits you guys as well. Looking forward to hearing your feedback, and I love you all. Thank you.